Players of Utica's Players Theater at Home presents Playdate with Art and Bonnie, with your hosts, Art Felshaw and Bonnie Hibbard. With special guests, Joni DePerno-Zahas and Stephen Wagner, and special musical guest, Astina Smith.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. How's everybody today, this evening?
Good, very good.
Terrific. Hi, Bonnie. How are you?
I'm good, my dear, and you?
I'm not too bad. What was the highlight of your day today, besides seeing me, of course?
Oh my goodness, the highlight of my day. That's, I can't think of a thing, but this must be the highlight. This is
It hasn't happened yet.
That's right.
It's happening right now.
That's right.
Well, that's good. I was at the theater this morning and I did a little painting that I haven't washed off yet, but that's coming along. And we'll talk more about what's going on there a little bit later. Let me introduce our guests for today. We have Joni Zahas. Joni's on our board. She is also the chair of our program committee. Hi, Joni. How are you?
Hello, very good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome anytime.
We're glad.
Yep. And our other guest is Steve Wagner, who's the president of Players of Utica. They're here for a special reason, and we'll talk about that a little bit after our musical guest, who we always have a musical guest every week, every month. And Bonnie is going to introduce her.
Well, I'm so excited about this. Astina Smith was born on Long Island, but was raised in the British Virgin Islands. She got her start in showbiz at the ripe old age of 5 when she appeared on The Electric Company with her uncle, who just happened to be Morgan Freeman. She also made appearances on Sesame Street and Romper Room. By the way, her mother used to sing with Mahalia Jackson, and her uncle Mike still plays in Stevie Wonder's band. So obviously it's in the genes. Astina attributes singing as being her lifeline. She has performed with many of the top artists that you will recognize some of the names: Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, and Aretha Franklin, just to name a few. Astina is a dedicated community advocate in our area. Her motto is, "I'm blessed to bless others by any means necessary." She presently works at SUNY Polytechnic Institute as a financial aid advisor. She's a proud member of St. Matthew's Temple in Utica, where she is the assistant choir director, a youth advisor, and praise and worship leader. Astina has performed all over Central New York in many musical productions, including Rome Capitol Theater's Summer Stage and Grace Church's T.R. Proctor Theater Guild. She also is a solo artist who has performed at many locations here and also abroad. It is our absolute pleasure to welcome Astina Smith to our show. You are in for a treat.
Wonders of the world are said to stop at 7, but truth to tell, my figures don't agree. I number them at 8, with one so close to heaven. The others pale, their magic stale. Just look around and see. Step right up to Treasure Isle. Every inch of it a sky-high mile. Fairy tale land, only in New York. Hey, castle builders, want the moon and nothing less. Work for years and overnight success. I know firsthand, only in New York. Each day is free admission to those who dream. You set set your sights all the way upstream. Off you go, for you know that cream will rise. Make that wish and seek that thrill. Come and get it, 'cause you always will. Strike up the band, only in New York. Each day is free admission to those who dream. You set your sights all the way upstream. Off you go, for you know that cream will rise. New and improve and rearrange. Ever changing, but it never changed. I know firsthand. Hear what I'm saying? Oh, but it's grand. That's what I'm saying. Right here as planned. Only in New York. Only in New York. Only in New York.
Yay!
That was
Yeah,
wonderful.
terrific. Oh my
Amazing.
gosh, just terrific. She's great. She's just wonderful. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little tour of Players of Utica. I know many of you have been asking questions like, when are we going to reopen, and what are we doing now, and that kind of stuff. So that's really why we're here, to just have a little discussion, give you a little idea of what's coming down the road, things that we know about, things we're still maybe not sure about. But
Sure.
at the beginning, if I can do this, you're going to have to bear with me, and we're going to have a little bit of.
Joni, have you been in the theater to see what it looks like now?
I have not, and I'm so excited because this lobby project, which we started, a couple of years ago, to really get it updated, and it's just
Wait
so
till you
exciting.
see.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
Till you
beautiful
see.
little theater. We love this theater, and now we're just making it that much prettier,
Yeah.
it is absolutely.
and functional.
Yeah.
I want to say that when you folks enter the theater and get there for the first time, whatever that's going to be soon enough, you're going to see so many changes in the lobby, in the black box, because even though we seem to be on hiatus, we are not. We are thinking of you, and we are thinking about we always think about how can we make things better. We've done surveys in the past. I always talk to people and, what can we do? Because you know what? We're a little community theater, but we got a lot of heart, and we really love our patrons, So what we do really, we're looking to you to see what we can do better. So I think you're going to love these changes that Art's going to show you some pictures of.
So here is our first. As you walk into the lobby, you were always used to seeing our desk there. And can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay. And here's Rick, and Rick Studley is the person that's building our concession stand and our box office. And here he is in the early stages of building our box office. Here is our next thing, where he's sort of been halfway through with it. And here is a picture of our beautiful box office, all finished. And what you will notice here is that we have 2 ticket windows.
Yay!
Excellent.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
We have a window for tickets, and that's going to be for people who have prepaid or our patrons. And we have a separate window for paying at the door, and that's going to help. Pay no attention to the garbage in the lower right-hand side or left-hand side, wherever you are. That won't be there. So now
It is beautiful. It's
Yeah, I
just
love
beautiful.
the colors, and I love the the Art Deco
Yes.
decorations that Rick put on it.
yes.
And,
The colors are so fresh. And that blue color, that's a hot color this season. We're
Yeah.
seeing so much fashion, and I think you'll see it on the red carpet too.
We have
Yay.
this teal color. Can you
Yes.
see my pointer or no? I'm not
Yes.
point. You can?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, so yeah, these things here, Rick made these, and they're lit from behind when those are lit up. It has
He's amazing.
is amazing. It doesn't take up any more floor space than the old desk that we had there. It's very compact and it's very efficient.
And this is no flimsy structure either. I mean, Rick
no.
built this like a small house.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great, a carpenter, and everything is just perfectly done. And there's room inside for the workers to shelving and everything, and desk space for us to work with.
Mhm.
He is just
Hopefully this will make us so much more efficient. We like to get people in so they can come in and get a drink and sit down and get ready to go.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
And speaking of getting drinks, let's take a look at the concession stand that Rick just started. I didn't get a picture of him standing by this, but here it is. This is the framework for the concession area. And it looks like a lot right now. And if you notice way in the back, there's our teal color again that we're pulling through the entire lobby. Now, Bonnie asked, and I wasn't sure if our audiences have seen the new floor that we've put down. Did we shut down before that happened or after?
They have not seen it.
Yeah,
It's
We
new.
shut down before the floor was put in.
that's a good.
Yeah, it looks
picture of
beautiful.
all of our new flooring is there as well. Now, the part here on the concession stand that juts out, there are going to be 3 windows, a serving window and 2 display windows. They're going to be very much like and it's going to mirror our tickets booth our ticket booth with the same colors, the blue and the teal, and that's what's going to happen there. So we just started that. We're in the process right now, and this is it from another view, looking out the front door. So there not only be, and here it comes again because I hit it twice. So you're not just looking at a concession stand, you're looking at all of our needs for storage and refrigeration. And we hope to have a sink and back there as well. So everything will be all contained within that area, and it'll end up on the outside looking very much like the ticket booth.
And I'd like to add here that one of our surveys, many of our audience members said, well, we would like a few more options for snacks, maybe some salty snacks, a few more options for different kinds of drinks. So in responding to what our patrons are asking for is partly how this concession stand came about, as well as the ticket booth, so again, we are looking for the patrons' needs and to respond to those.
Excellent.
That's true. And we have a lot of space in there now. We can do that sort of stuff.
Love it. Can't wait to work in there.
Like everything that Rick is designing, it is compact and very, very efficient. So we're only taking up the space that we actually need. And, we're not going overboard with it, but it'll be so much fun and so nice to work in there. Now, as you walk into our black box theater, you may remember that we used to have a light booth up in the corner. Remember this light booth, the one here in the corner?
Oh, yes.
We had this ladder that would go up, and only people that didn't have knee replacements could get up there.
So
So now what we have, and we're still in the process of building this. This is being built by Mike Ratton. Many of you know Mike Ratton from Summer Stage, and even in Players, he's done a number of stuff for us as well. He's also building this new light booth, and this is going to be amazing, folks. Wait till you see this. This thing goes across the entire width of our back wall. It's 32 foot long. It only takes up 24 inches more of space than the old one did, as far as how far the seats come back toward the front. And that's the sort of the skeleton for it. And then after it had some sheathing put on, it gives you a better idea what it's going to look like here. And there's the sheathing there. And lo and behold, take a look at these stairs going up the wall. And all the way across this back wall, we will have room for 2 follow spots, and for our light board, and for our sound board.
Wonderful.
And not only that, you can see that, can you see this little opening here? This is an opening we left, a space. And then you can, here's the doorway on this side. So what will happen there is, just to give you a quick peek, and that's what it looks like underneath. You're going to be able to walk all the way through there, and there's plenty of room for storage. We'll
That
be
is
able
fabulous.
be able to store all of our lighting and all of our sound equipment and all of our electrical equipment. And it's a way for actors to go back and forth if, you know, they want to enter from the other side of the room. So there's so many things there. So that's in the process. I did have to take down all of those platforms that were all nailed and screwed and clamped together and put them all back again. And that's actually helped because they were getting a little bit loose over the years of use.
Yeah, they were.
So that's where we are. Now I have a couple of, two more pictures here. One of them, which I think may be of interest to you, if I can make it work. Oh, I think there, here it comes. Many of the things you've been seeing, especially with our performers who have been singing, they've been standing right in front of that great big green fabric that you can see there. And that's called a green screen. And that's where they've been standing. And Steve has really done amazing work for us for editing and adding backgrounds and that kind of thing. So right now we do have one or two people come in from time to time. They stand there, everything is safe. Here's the piano here that Bonnie sits at 10 feet away. And then, because Bonnie plays piano for all of our performers, pretty much all of them. I don't think we really mentioned that before, but she's there doing that. For when you heard Astina singing, Bonnie was playing. And then one last quick photo. Last year at this time, actually a little bit more now than a year, we were in the process of getting ready to produce a play called I Hate Hamlet. And here's our set for I Hate Hamlet that actually is still sitting there a year later. So we maybe have some news about that set and maybe what's going to happen with I Hate Hamlet. We'll talk about that in a moment. So, you know, for everyone, you know, all of our patrons and everyone that's on Patreon and all of our subscribers, this is kind of what things look like right now and where we are. And they're all projects we're very excited about.
Yes, that's great, Art. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope
Good job.
So are we back to our normal 4 people here again?
Yes, we are.
Hey, good. I did it right. Wow. Surprised. I just surprised myself. So I know Bonnie has some questions generally about, you know, what we're doing and where we're going and maybe that Hamlet thing or something. So Bonnie, I'm going to turn it over to you. I've talked enough.
Well, thank you. These 3 jokesters right here, everybody in the audience, they are all on the program committee. And I'm going to ask you some questions that people have asked me in passing. These are not necessarily and that's not a disclaimer. But, now, I know that the state, unless I'm incorrect about this, has said that you can open up with 30% capacity. That's correct, isn't it?
33.
You've heard.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay. So the audience seats in our black box 100 people, correct?
About 100. Yep.
So we would be talking about 33 people who
Right.
would be in our audience, which looks like nobody's there. It's really tiny. But anyway.
And I think that also includes who you have for actors on stage as well.
Right. So
it
you have to
does?
include the cast in that number too.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know
So,
that. Wow.
Yeah.
So, well, thinking that it's that, when has the board or the program committee thought any idea of when it might be possible or feasible to open up? Are you thinking this year or next year, or is that just a question that's, who knows?
Well, we don't have firm plans to open. And I think what we're waiting for is a number that's higher than a third of an audience. Make it worth our while, because we do produce a show. Obviously, we have to pay royalties and other expenses.
Sure.
So an audience of 30 or so people might not make it fiscally possible to do a show.
Mhm.
So we might have to wait until we can have a bigger audience in the theater.
Also, to add to that, I know that we want our audience members to feel comfortable. I don't want to
Exactly, yeah.
play and then have someone say, God, I really want to see that play, but I'm not ready to go into a theater yet. But I feel really hopeful because I know like with the restaurants, they keep increasing the numbers at like 10, 25, 35%. And I think that we're going to see some real good stuff here in the next couple of months. So as Steve said, we don't
Oh,
have
good.
date for it, but we are looking for not only fiscally responsible, like, yeah, we have to have more than 30, 40 people in there, but also we don't want to create a situation where our patrons say, darn it, I want to see that play, but I'm not ready and I'm not doing that. And the tough part about this is we had planned our 2021 season. It is a killer season. Okay, which we are planning. This may be your next question, Bonnie, but we are planning. We think we're going to still be able to take a big chunk of that and put that into
Oh, okay.
season. So we have directors, everybody, the directors, the companies that we get our royalties from, everybody's on hold. We're like, just be hold because we think, we want to do this, but what a killer season. We have a children's play. We have a musical. We have a American classic that people are going to love. Intense, dramatic, amazing. I can't give any titles. I'll give you hints. We have a scary one that we had originally planned to do like around Halloween. So I hope we can make kind of that work out. And then something we're really excited about that's going to kind of speak to like the video game generation, So we felt like our season just has like something for everyone. We're like so excited about it. And then of course the cabarets that you do, which is one of my favorite parts of the year.
Oh, that's very sweet of
We
you.
have this little season and we're just waiting to see the moment when we can take it. And like a little puzzle, we may take a few pieces of it, put it here, a few pieces there. Like normally our season would start in the fall. Well, we'll see. We'll see. How's that gonna work? And we're gonna kind of work with, as Steve said, legally we can get in there, what we feel our patrons are comfortable with, and we'll start reaching out to them in the next couple months. And we have been through the newsletter to see what their comfort levels are, what their interests are. So we're ready.
Yeah.
And we're kind of pausing, like, okay, we're ready.
Yeah, we're ready to hit the ground running when we have to go.
Excellent.
We're ready. A
Mhm.
lot of things.
Well, there was one that definitely was one of the questions that I've been asked, if there's a season that's been chosen. And that's great to hear. And that sounds like a very exciting season.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you might have to do more than the traditional run of 2 weekends.
What I was thinking, we haven't really, again, worked on this, but we tried something a little different last year. And of course, historically, maybe Art, you could jump in on this better too. But like for the musical, sometimes people may have noticed that we'll add a Thursday performance to it, or the second week we'll put a Thursday in. So in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe we can pull together, maybe not another weekend, but maybe like a Sunday, a matinee and an evening, add a Thursday to it, kind of extend it this way, because chances are, as we will be diminished somewhat in our numbers. I don't know, Art and Steve, if you want to jump in on that one.
Yeah, of course, that's possible. We can add as many performances as we feel. However, of course, every performance comes attached to a royalty. So every time we do a show, then we've got to pay a royalty. So it's going to be a balance of those two things. So now, before I continue, I think it's absolutely necessary to acknowledge a couple of new viewers here. One of them would be Sam, the theater cat, who has made an appearance. He makes an appearance on almost every show.
Hi, Sam.
And tonight we also have another kitty that's made an appearance. Stephen, who's that?
I know.
This is
Steve,
Goose.
you've got a cat that's vying for the showbiz cat title.
I know it. I think we're in competition here. So
I know.
we'll have to see what both of them say about this. They'll probably let us know what's going on there. At any rate, yeah, that's true. So everything we do has a price tag, and so that's what we have to balance, is the price tag with what we're able to do.
Well, now, speaking of all of this, the socially distance issue, what is going to be done to make the audience feel comfortable, or how is that going to be set up, you think? And also the actors being on stage, how do you do that? And backstage, what are they going to do?
I found a lot of theaters are looking for their actors to be vaccinated. You know, like that, I'm not saying right now that's gonna be a requirement of ours, but we've been batting that around a little bit. That, you know, if you're gonna be part of this, we need to be sure that everybody is safe that is
Safe.
in there. So I suspect that that's gonna be one of our guidelines or ground rules, you know, in terms of the actors. And as to the theater setup, I mean, I think we're going to throw that to our professional art over there. But my thought was we do something. My husband and I went out to a restaurant this weekend, and we had dinner at the bar. And what they did at their bar is they had 2 stools with like little walls, and then 4 stools, and then 2 stools, and they were segmented, but they're segmented by social groups. And my thought is if we couldn't do something like that in the theater as well, whereas before we might have a long rank, you know, row of chairs, that we do 4 space, 2 space, 3, you know what I mean? So it's like little chunks, and people can, because you're going to sit with people in your bubble, right? But you don't
Oh,
want to,
sure.
you know, in other bubbles. So I think we can be creative a little bit with the chairs is one way we can do it cost effectively.
And we just formed a committee among our board that will determine exactly how we're going to do these things, comply with the state regulations, and incorporate a lot of the ideas that some of which, you know, Joni just mentioned, in ways that we can open safely, make people feel safe, and be able to do shows again. So we're going to be putting together, you know, written guidelines for how exactly we're going to do this. So we have a plan.
Sounds good.
We'll be able to answer all those questions with quite a bit of specificity once this group meets, and kind of we've got some guidelines that I believe Art shared with us from the state, and we're, I guess, what is it, Art, like 79 pages that, you know,
Huge.
we're starting to go through and just see what, you know, what is it that we need to do. But I can't reiterate enough to you that the safety and the satisfaction of our patrons is number one. So we're not going to do anything that's going to make people feel like they can't come. It's good. They're going to be ready to come. It's going to be safe for them to come.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, I think that is the bottom line. It's really the people. It's really our audience is when they feel safe. When that will be, it's hard to tell. But, you know, we'll put our feelers out and just go as go along until we can get a better idea.
Well, you know, what's also wonderful about this discussion is that anyone who's listening and is one of our patrons finds out that this time has not been a stagnant time. This time has been, I know from Art, and I know from Dan Fusillo, that you people have had all kinds of meetings via Zoom, that you've done all kinds of things to make sure that you're working on the problems, the issues, and you've put in a lot of energy and a lot of time, a lot of thought. So number one, I thank you for all that you've done, and all the other people who have too. It's phenomenal that nobody's been just sitting around.
No,
Right.
not at all. Now, speaking of sitting around, Steve, I don't know if you have any insight right now when I showed that photograph of the I Hate Hamlet set that's half finished. Do you have any ideas what we may be doing soon with that?
Well, we might be doing a virtual version of I Hate Hamlet.
Oh, neat.
Because we had originally planned to do it, as Art said, back in March of last year. And then in the middle of rehearsal, everything got shut down. And in the meantime, the director has moved out of town, and one of the main cast members has moved out of town across the country. So we've had to replace one of the actors, which we have. And we've consulted all of the actors now, and that they're willing to come back and work on the show again. Well, I think we're going to produce play and videotape it and have it and produce it with cats only. We're going to do an all cat show. It's going to be hard to get them to sit
Don't have
still.
mine here.
We're going to do an all cat show.
I'll bring mine. I have 2.
But we're going to videotape it, and we're going to stream it in the same way that we did Dearly Departed. We're going to make it available to our patrons in that way. So we hope to start rehearsals soon, maybe as soon as next week. Now that we have
Wow.
a full cast.
Know this show, Bonnie, because I did it before we had it in program community, but it's a comedy, it's got drama,
Mhm.
and it has sword fighting. So I mean, this is good.
Right. A little bit of everything, right?
Love me a little sword fighting.
Yeah, it's a good cast, so we just have to finish the set and we'll start rehearsals and we'll videotape it. It'll be a fun show.
And I think
Now,
it's where, I'm sorry, Bonnie, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I think that's where a number of our things are going right now until, we're just taking baby steps and doing what we can where people feel safe. And then we just keep stepping up and hopefully we'll be able to arrive at a full blown live theater piece someday.
Well,
Right?
now, it's interesting, that whole virtual production idea, because Art, obviously you directed Dearly Departed, which was a virtual production, and you did a fantastic job with that. I was very impressed with how you made it seem like we were really watching these people together on a stage. You did a great job with that.
Joni
So,
was there.
yes, and Steve worked on it and was in it.
Yeah, oh, Steve together.
Now, what are the particular problems, if you wouldn't mind just for a second talking about that, as a director of a virtual production? What are the challenges?
Well, this one's going to be a little different than what I did because this one is actually going to be done on stage with live. But it's going to be done probably more like a TV show, so we can start and stop and cut and start and stop. So
Oh, nice.
more like, I'm sure it'll be exactly like Hamilton. So make sure that you see that.
Oh, that seems different from what you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're making sure all of our actors are vaccinated and
Mhm.
we'll do as much social distancing as we can during rehearsals. But yeah, we will be recording it on stage. Whereas with Dearly Departed, all of the performances were done separately. All the actors did their parts separately.
Mhm.
And they were all edited.
Everybody
This
was
one's gonna
all
be-
by themselves at home or somewhere doing their show for Dearly Departed, doing their little
Right.
piece until it all came together. But this one actually will at least be able to be filmed on stage. So
I think that's a great idea.
well, we're gonna try, and again, it's a small cast, so that's gonna be safe for people. We do want them all vaccinated. We're gonna keep social distancing the best we can, and so there's tricks I'm sure there that we'll be able to use without getting too close to each other.
So, you know, I'm sorry, Joni, go ahead.
For Dearly Departed, acting, of course, Art was a wonderful director and Steve was great with the editing. But as an actor, it was a really fun and different kind of a challenge where you were more like TV, where you're delivering a line to someone and reacting to their lines, and who was there? My husband, like, looked at me from behind the camera, like, there's Scott, like, the camera, keep rolling. And so I guess
we had to edit out Scott's voice a lot of the time too, because he's talking to you. All that had to be edited out.
You and me a line that I get wrong, but I want to put an invite out to anybody out there that's watching this, just to say that, like, right now, besides all the construction, the theater and all that, as I say, we're not on hiatus. We're doing these wonderful video things that are coming along, like the cabaret. And I know Art and I are both trying to work on some individual projects, a poetry project for Art, a monologue project for me. And I'm sure Steve's got something too, because he always something fun
Yes.
Going on.
We have been getting emails and questions from people saying, can I be in something? Can I produce something for you? And from far away too. I mean, from places not even near us, that they're seeing our stuff and saying, we want to be part of your theater. So I encourage anyone watching this tonight, if you got an idea, a little creative bone, something you think you want to do, our Gmails are all right there, I believe, and the players, email is there on our page. Contact us, tell us what you're interested in doing, what you want to be part of, because I believe we really have been able to kind of put everyone to work on something, or you know what I mean, and to be part of the show. And I want to say that it's fun because you're doing something you haven't done before, and I know actors got to act, So, yeah, dance, if you want to sing or dance or tell some jokes or do something, please contact us and we'll put you in touch with the right person, or maybe we'll just put you in charge. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You got a show.
Right. And it could be almost anything, like you said, Joni, you know, it could be a musical piece or a skit,
Yeah.
or if you want to do something that's more appropriate for like an open mic, let us know. You know, we'll record your piece and we'll put it together with other people. So whatever you want to do, you know, we're open to all kinds of ideas.
Well, you know,
Because
the performers are thirsty just as the audience is.
Yeah.
Because for every one of the singers, and Steve, you can attest to this, when we have recorded the singers at Players, they walk in and the thing that every single person has said, oh, it's so good to be in here again.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to be doing something with theater again. Right, Steve?
Absolutely. Yep. And I hear that from people who have not been able to come to the theater too. They're saying they're just itching to get back on stage. I hear that so often.
I get that all the time, and with emails from people, and they always end it with, "Oh my God, we miss you so much," and you know, but they understand. I mean, they understand the process and how long.
Sure.
It's taking, and you know, they understand that. Well, guys, I think it's about time to wrap this up, and just I want to say thank you two so much for being on our
Wonderful. Yay.
Thank
show. A lot
you.
of information.
awesome. I never miss your show.
Thanks. And I think there's going to be a lot of cat talk on this show. We'll leave it up to Steve to see how many cat bubbles we get on this show. Make as many as you like. I'm sure they all had something to say.
Well, Bradley made an appearance.
Yes, Bradley. That was Bradley. So if we can't get enough actors for I Hate Hamlet, then we'll do an all feline cast. And then we'll cats on and stuff. So what I'm going to do is toss it back to Bonnie for our closing song, and then we'll probably just come back and say goodbye. Go ahead, Bonnie.
Well, Astina, again, for your pleasure to be able to hear this voice again. The fact is that the song she's going to sing is one that we did in the production of All Shook Up at Rome Capitol Summer Stage a few summers ago. And when I tell you she stopped the show, when I tell you that the audience was just crazed for her, and when I also tell you that I was conducting the orchestra and I had the biggest tears in my eyes, she has not just a beautiful voice, but she performs. She's a case study in watching somebody and how they put across a song. So for your pleasure, there's always me from All Shook Up.
When the evening shadows fall and you're wondering who to call for a little company, there's always me. Or if your great romance shall end and you'll
It's wonderful, Estina, just
Oh.
Beautiful.
wonderful, just terrific. And so I'm going to say goodbye, everyone, and until next month, thank you so much. Bye,
Yes,
everybody.
thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Bye, Art. Bye, Bonnie. Bye, Joni.
Bye. Love you.